Our next meat imitator is going to be jackfruit. So jackfruit is very low calorie, but has this fibrous texture that will really take on the shred of meat. So I do a thing called pull your leg pork. So it basically replicates, because again, it's bleh. So barbecue pork is like shredded, but it's predominantly all about the flavors and the barbecue sauce, and it's just about the texture. So let's replicate the texture and get the health benefits of jackfruit and none of the harmful benefits of pork. So grate these on your side of your grater, on your big side. Just go slowly with this, because you don't want to grate your fingers. Don't worry about the trimmings at the end, they'll be fine. Just add it. So this is a tin of jackfruit. If it's in brine, make sure you give it a rinse before you use it, because it's quite salty. And what you'll notice is there's these little beans as well. You can get fresh jackfruit from some stores. I've never managed to have it. But yeah, it just depends on accessibility of things, but certainly it's becoming more and more common to be able to buy things like jackfruit. And these are just alternatives. At the end of the day, you can buy beans, you soak your own beans, and that will be the meat replacement. But this is a good one to get your friends and colleagues on. You make this up into like the same way I'm going to show you now with the Cajun spice, and then I just add barbecue sauce to it, cook it in the oven. That will give you like a pull your leg pork. Okay, so I've got this grated jackfruit. So as you can see, that one tin has produced all this. I mean, that could be mistaken for pork, for chicken. So with this now, I'm going to spice it up. So I'm going to use some Cajun seasoning, again, available everywhere. Take about 4 teaspoons of this. It's really quite spicy. And then rub it into the meat. So you've got this meaty jackfruit texture. And that can sit now and marinate. It doesn't take long. It's not like meat. You know, these things are just going to absorb the flavors almost immediately. So you can really get the smell now of that flavor, sort of Mexican flavors coming in, inspired. So beautiful. All right. Any big chunks you feel, just break them up in your fingers. You can see there, look the way it looks like chicken. So jackfruit's a good one to use to add any flavor to. It's very bland in itself. So we've added Cajun there, but you could have added a sort of base of pepper and thyme and give it that sense of roast chicken. Yeah, these are all good ones to, particularly when you're transitioning and you want to eat those familiar foods. So I'm just going to pop the jackfruit in a bowl, and that'll be ready for our fajitas. So we're going to prepare the fajitas now, and we've popped about a tablespoon of oil into the pan. I'm going to fry up the jackfruit meat that was marinated in the Cajun spice. We're then going to add some sliced onion and some sliced green peppers. So remove the centers out of your green pepper. And you want this in the sort of long strips, okay? So just like this. And it'll soften in that oil. So nice thin strips. Take out your seeds and the pith. The pan's very hot, so it's just going to spit a little bit. And then we're going to chop half an onion. And you want this in rings this time, so you're just going to chop it very thinly. So knuckles back, fingers back, knuckles forwards rather. And again, you're just looking for that classic shape when you get the fajitas. So these will break up into small strips. Onions give off quite a bit of water, so it will frizzle again when you put it in. That's great. Keep that on quite a high temperature. And stir that around. So for all those meals, the only bit of oil we've used is that small sort of tablespoon in this, just to fry this up. Okay, so keep that on high heat. That's simmering away. And then we're going to add this jackfruit meat. And just watch this. If you hadn't made the basic tomato sauce, you could just now add half a tin of tomatoes. But the point of this is we've got this base. And if you blended that up, then you'd have this delicious, healthy, full of extra vitamins, full of extra vegetables. You'd have that ready. So then you would just add the equivalent of half a tin to that to make your fajita mix. So you'll start getting the aromas now of the spices in that sauce. You can taste the meat at any time. And just make sure it's spicy enough. You've got the option of putting an extra chilli in if you wish. You've got your salsa. And I've also got some corn there, if you like corn. That's cooking up nicely. And then we're just going to add... So you add about a ladle and a half there. And you've got all those flavours, so you didn't have to do too much preparation. They're already incorporated in that sauce. And let that simmer down. So a nice way to show this off, you've got your salsa, you've got your guacamole, you've got corn, they're all options. And a wrap. I like a slice of lime. And maybe some tortilla chips if you wanted to. You could have some tortillas. You can just eat this as nachos. You can load up tortilla chips, pour it over, put some vegan cheese or some nutritional yeast, pop it onto the grill for a couple of minutes. And that's another perfect way to do it. You can warm your bread up if you wish. But this is ready, so that's how quick it is. Okay. So I'm going to pile some fajita mix in. And this is great for sharing. You know, if you've got a plate of this, if you've got some torn spinach leaves. So I'm just going to chop up some spinach leaves that'll go in with this that are really nice. But if you have a bowl of this all presented on the table, then people can help themselves. Grab a spoon of the salsa. a spoon of the guacamole, and some corn, optional. I would put a squirt of lime on there. And if you wish, you could put another piece of chilli, entirely up to you. Wrap. Maybe turn up the end and wrap. And there you have delicious fajita. So there we go. It's so good, so flavourful. All those lovely spices and all the fresh, clean tastes of those different salsa, the guacamole. It's absolutely delicious. So you can try this one as part of your batch cook.